She hands it off to Jackson. Jackson uses the screen, lost the handle, bounced past to Plum. Plum loses it, regains it, throws it up for grabs. Grabbed by Boston out of the sky, and we're going to have a foul here. No, a timeout taken by Indiana.
What I love the most about this squad is that, just like O said, like we instill confidence, the coach instills confidence that any shot you take, shoot it with confidence because we trust you and we trust that you're going to make it. And I feel like that's just really helped us down the line because no matter who comes in, no matter who steps up, we're all just really happy for each other.
Aliyah Boston said something after the game that had every Fever fan buzzing. But she didn't just talk about it, she lived it. In a season where Indiana has been battered by injuries, she dropped 22 points, 11 boards, and a career-high 6 steals, capping it with the game-sealing stop. What exactly did she mean by her words? That's what we're getting into because her post-game line might be the key to understanding how the Fever pulled off their most important win of the year. And even with injuries mounting and momentum shaky, one unlikely hero lit the spark that closed the door on LA. Let's break down how this win changed everything for Indiana's season. If you are pumped up for the team, then comment Big Fever win. Let's go.
Fever dub! Bow, bow, bow! Hell yeah!
How do you win when half your team is sitting in street clothes? That was the question hanging over Indiana as they walked into Los Angeles. Caitlin Clark on the sideline, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald unavailable. 4 guards, 4 playmakers, 4 voices missing from the rotation. For most teams, that's a death sentence in a game that carries playoff weight. But the Fever didn't have the option of giving in. They came in with nothing to lean on but grit and belief in whoever was left standing.
About the resilient, nature of our team, I think one other thing that sometimes goes missed is just the character of these women, right? Especially this group that's been here, that's gone through all of this, and then the ones that we brought in with O and Che and AP. I mean, these are women who care about winning. These are women who care about one another. These are women who sacrifice every single day.
It wasn't just about the names on the injury list either. This wasn't some random regular season game in August. The Sparks weren't just another opponent. They had beaten Indiana every single time they met this year. 3 matchups, 3 losses, each one a little more frustrating than the last. And the standings made it even worse. The Fever sat in 6th, clinging to a playoff spot, while Los Angeles was lurking just 2 games behind in 9th. That gap could shrink in a heartbeat, and with 4 losses in the last 5, doubt had seeped into every conversation about this team. Were they collapsing at the worst possible time?
Steph mentioned, whenever she sees you with the 2 black eyes, she smiles in a way because it just exemplifies your toughness. Do you feel tough in these kinds of situations with these 2 black eyes?
I mean, that's what people keep telling me. Every time she sees me, she smiles and then she says, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "You don't need to be sorry. This is what it is." And when I'm playing, I forget about it, and then I go and look at the mirror. I'm like, "Oh shit, they're still there." So yeah, I don't really think too much about it because I don't necessarily feel them all the time.
Yeah, and you're still able to see completely fine.
Yep.
All right.
Nothing's changed.
All right, perfect. I think.
Picture the challenge. A team that looks fragile from the outside, 5 games left in the season, and now forced to pull together with patchwork lineups. It wasn't about finding a perfect rhythm anymore. It was about surviving every single possession. That mentality became their blueprint. Whoever got minutes had to play more than their role usually demanded. Whoever touched the court had to carry weight beyond their stat line.
Originally, I was like, I just need to get the swelling to go down in my forehead. So I put a patch, slept with it. The next day, woke up and I was like, okay, the bump is almost gone, but now I have 2 black eyes. So that was tragic. But I mean, at this point, it's unfortunately won't be able to hide it. People know, so just rolling with it.
Were you able to hide it for the photo shoots?
The makeup artist did a really, really, really good job. And people that hadn't met me before were like, "Oh, I can't even tell." I'm like, okay, that's good. We'll take it. But I'm hoping they'll do some editing in the post.
And then you saw Lexi Hull. She wasn't just playing. She was competing with both eyes marked up after colliding with Gabby Williams in the last game. 2 black eyes, and she still dug into defenders, still grabbed loose balls, still ran through screens. Hull symbolized exactly what the Fever needed that night. Show up even when it hurts. Her presence was a message in itself. If she could fight through, so could everyone else wearing Indiana red.
I imagine on Tuesday you got checked for concussion, facial fracture. Just how much of a sigh of relief was it that you didn't have concussion or any kind of fracture in your face?
Yeah, honestly, when it happened, I was like relieved because I could feel myself like I was good to go. Like I felt completely with it. They did all the tests they needed to do and put ice on it right away, try to keep the swelling down. But I felt good knowing that like obviously it could have been a lot worse. And I'm grateful for the people online wanting to check on me and make sure that I'm okay. But I am okay. I've been fully checked out. So
That's what made this game feel different. It wasn't about style points or highlight passes. Every stop, every rebound, every basket came with a layer of urgency. One wrong run from LA and it could have ended quickly. But the Fever didn't snap. They matched intensity and kept pushing back against a team determined to close the gap in the standings.
I like that we dug in. It wasn't ideal in terms of how the game was. It was ugly. We had moments where we were better than others, but we dug in. I mean, when you think about key defensive stops, key offensive rebounds, like AB's key offensive rebound there at the end, making plays, deflections that led to steals or deflections that led to bobbled passes.
By refusing to break under pressure, Indiana set the stage for someone unexpected to rise. The resilience of that short-handed group left the door open for a veteran who had been waiting for her moment to step fully into the spotlight. What if the player no one expected became the closer everyone needed? That's exactly what happened for Indiana when Odyssey Sims stepped onto the floor in Los Angeles. Think about it. This was supposed to be a night about survival, a short-handed roster just trying to hold together long enough to steal a win. Yet somehow, a 31-year-old veteran who wasn't even part of the starting lineup became the heartbeat of the game. And for Sims, the significance grew even bigger because of the jersey worn by the opponent. She used to call the Sparks her team. That added layer of history fueled her every possession, and you could tell from the way she played that this meant something personal.
Sims left open for three. She got it. Offensive rebound. Sims the runner. Here's Howard. Shovels Sims right at the doorstep and she gets it off the window. 3-on-3 the other way. Sims the take and finishes the lefty layup.
At this stage in her career, most people don't expect a backup guard to carry an offense. The scouting report doesn't circle her name the way it does Aliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark. But when your leading scorer Kelsey Mitchell can't find her rhythm, just 5 makes on 14 attempts, that's when the cracks usually start to show. Instead, Sims turned herself into the answer. She came in steady, decisive, and without hesitation. Every possession mattered, and she treated each one like she had been waiting for it her whole career.
Down by Plum. Plum 1-on-2, ripped away there by Sims.
Great play by Odyssey Sims. Played the ball.
3-on-3 the other way. Sims the take and finishes the lefty layup.
Her numbers tell part of the story, but only part. 21 points total, but it was the timing of each bucket that turned heads. You could see her calm under pressure, pushing tempo when the Fever needed to, then slowing it down when Los Angeles threatened to grab momentum. And then came the closing stretch. Deep into the fourth quarter, the ball kept finding her hands. Drives through traffic, mid-range pull-ups, creating off the dribble, these weren't secondary plays. She became the primary release valve.
The lead back up to 3. Sims left open for 3. She got it. Odyssey Sims with the triple to tie this one up at 74 apiece. Got the offensive rebound out to Mitchell. Here's Hole curling. Hole down the lane. The kick out Sims. Sims in the paint. The runner good. They put Turner on the inbound. Alaman inbounds it to Hamby, and so now that'll be that. So the Indiana Fever come into here.
The defining moment, though, arrived with just 13.6 seconds left on the clock. Indiana clinging to a chance, the ball in her grip, and she rose into that quick floater she's honed for years. It dropped through clean. That was the shot. the one that gave Indiana the lead for good and silenced the Staples Center crowd. You could feel the emotional weight lifted off the Fever as she ran back down the floor, arms calm, face clear, almost like she knew this was hers all along.
Yeah, honestly, 5 straight points for you to help take the lead at the end of the game. Just what was that mindset for you in those final seconds?
I mean, I didn't shoot the ball well from the 3. I was over before I made that shot, but I mean, I didn't lose confidence. I think my teammates did a great job, along with the coaches, just constantly talking to me. They weren't worried about my missed shots. It just came down to continue to play. They believe in me so much, so that helped me. And when I shot it, I was open. It was one of those do or die. It went in, and I was excited about that. Like I said, I was open from the 3, but we got the W, so it feels great.
Later, when the microphones came out, Sims simply said what she lives by. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That line captured everything about Indiana's night. No excuses, no panic, just stay ready for the unexpected. Because of Odyssey Sims, the Fever walked out with more than a win. They walked out with proof that resilience isn't just a talking point.
Just going up just like the last few years, just up and down, in the league, out the league, hardship, contract being cut, all of that stuff. Really doesn't matter. I think I'm a human definition of you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I think every opportunity that has been given to me, I'm taking full advantage of it. These opportunities that you can't let slip away. You never know what tomorrow brings. You never know. You be on the team one day, go the next day. So just being able to come in and just stay ready, have my energy flow to my teammates, and just be positive. Like I said, I'm with a good group.
And as strong as she wasn't alone. Standing beside her was the anchor of the Fever's identity, Aliyah Boston, who not only dominated but delivered a message that still has fans buzzing.
Sparks started the game on a 7-0 run. Here's Mitchell, right back to Boston. And unable to get that one, but follows her on. Cameron Brink and Ray Burrell going to be checking in next time there's a stoppage for LA. Here's Turner in traffic, and she gets it up off the window.
Beautiful pass from Boston.
7 on the shot clock. Mitchell turning the corner. Jump stop in the lane, loses the ball. Brink throws it right to Boston. Easy layup.
All game long, Aliyah Boston's actions built to one final question. What exactly did she mean when she teased that message after the buzzer? Because if you watched her closely, it looked like she was already answering through her play. She didn't just fill up the box score, she stamped her presence onto every single part of the game. 22 points powering the offense, 11 rebounds muscling through the Sparks front court, 4 assists keeping the ball moving, and then 6 steals, the highest mark she's ever had. That combination doesn't usually come from one player in one night, but Boston carried both ends of the floor without blinking.
Julie Alamam, 5 points here tonight. They go high-low, and Boston the beneficiary. That's the 18th point off of a Sparks turnover. Hamby the crossover. Hamby rejected there by Boston. Here's Mitchell, always dangerous with the ball in her hands. Finds Boston's free throw line. Boston against Hamby. Jump hook, gets the soft bounce.
The defining moment came with so little time on the clock you almost missed it. Just 1.9 seconds left, Los Angeles desperate for one last chance, and Boston read the play perfectly. She reached in, ripped the ball clean, and ended it on the spot. No drama, no scramble, just a superstar shutting the door.
She hands it off to Jackson. Jackson uses the screen, lost the handle, bounce pass to Plum. Plum loses it, regains it, throws it up for grabs. Grabbed by Boston out of the sky, and we're going to have a foul here. No, a timeout taken by Indiana.
Right after that, though, the cameras turned to her. Reporters asked about how this team fought, and that's when her message started spreading. Everyone wanted to know, what was that quote about?
But tonight you guys showed resilience, coming back and just having that great floater for the win. Can you guys just talk about the camaraderie, everything that's happened with the team, the injuries, and just how you guys have been able to coalesce as one cohesive unit despite all of everything that's happened?
Yeah, honestly, I think from the start of our season, we talked about a season's not going to be perfect, and if something happens, next woman up. And I feel like that's really been the story of our season. With everything that's happened, people we've added, no matter how late in the season, it's been next woman up.
The answer was simple, but it resonated. Boston praised the Fever for their next woman up approach, the belief that if one player goes down, everyone else leans in harder. That's not just a throwaway phrase either. She had just done it herself, carrying a massive load while still trusting her teammates in critical possessions. But beyond her, this game was living proof of the culture.
But we have a deep team that a lot of people, a lot of players on our team could be playing and they're not. And that's a tribute to our depth, certainly, but also sometimes everybody wants to play, right? And I think the selfless nature of this group just can't be overstated. And that's why we're able to be in positions like this that we're able to be in.
Think about Lexi Hull. Face bruised, eyes darkened from the collision in the last game, yet she charged through screens, dived after loose balls, and kept defending with the same intensity. Then look at Aerial Powers, sparking the offense and bringing energy off the bench as if nothing was going to slow her down. Add those moments together, and you see Boston's words playing out in real time. Her leadership is the glue keeping Indiana steady. The points and steals show up in the stat sheet, but her influence stretches further. When she repeats, "next woman up," it sends a message that no injury, no setback, no stretch of tough losses defines this roster. It's confidence that whoever is on the floor deserves to be there and can finish the job.
Sims. They kick it out. Hole of three.
Big bucket from Lexi Hull.
And that identity means more than just motivational speeches. The win in Los Angeles locked Indiana into 6th place for now, building a safety cushion over Seattle while forcing the Sparks further back. A playoff berth feels a lot more secure, not because of luck or a single miracle shot, but because of a full team that believes in the exact mindset Boston described.
On the hit ahead. Looking for Howard short corner. Attacking against.
Okay.
Oh, what a spin move there. Spin cycle, rinse everything there from Natasha Howard.
From here, though, the attention shifts again. Everyone saw Boston's leadership. Now the biggest question lingering is about the one star who hasn't yet returned. The name fans can't stop bringing up, Caitlin Clark. But there's one name that wasn't on the court tonight that has every fan asking the same question. When? When is Caitlin Clark finally coming back? She's been sidelined with that groin injury for weeks, missing 17 straight games, and yet now there's a spark of hope. For the first time in what feels like forever, she's back in practice gear. She's out there in team shoot-arounds, warming up pregame, and moving around with the group. It's not full game action yet, but it's the closest she's looked to herself since she went down.
Nice roll!
The timing couldn't be more intriguing. Indiana has only 5 games left on the regular season calendar. Every single one matters because playoff positioning is hanging by a thread. Right now they sit 6th, just half a game ahead of Seattle, and no one in that locker room is comfortable. Dropping one contest could mean tumbling in the standings. But the other side of the coin is opportunity. If Clark can return, she could change everything in an instant. Picture this. Clark goes through shooting drills. She launches threes, runs sets, takes contact in lighter scrimmages while coaches stand only a few feet away, tracking her every movement, hoping there's no setback. The entire building feels different when she's out there. Teammates glance over, fans start buzzing, and you can sense the weight of what's at stake. It's cautious optimism, because everyone knows rushing her back could end the season completely. That's the balance Indiana's staff is managing right now.
You know, it wasn't ideal in terms of how the game was. It was ugly. We had moments where we were better than others, but we dug in. I mean, when you think about key defensive stops, key offensive rebounds, like AB's key offensive rebound there at the end, you know, making plays, deflections that led to steals or deflections that led to bobbled passes, just the sense of urgency that we played with in those last minutes through some gray area, right? Through some times when it wasn't perfect. And, you know, it was a gut check time, and our team stepped up to the challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yet, look at what this team just did tonight. They stole a game against an opponent that had owned them all year without their biggest star. That in itself is impressive. Now imagine what they could do with her on the floor again. Clark was averaging 19 points and 8 assists before the injury took her out. She wasn't just filling the role of a scorer. She was dictating pace, opening lanes for Boston and getting shooters like Kelsey Mitchell cleaner looks. Numbers like that can't be faked, and they change how every defense has to prepare against Indiana. This victory proved the Fever can survive without her, but the thought of adding Clark's playmaking back into the mix makes them something more than survivors. Suddenly, the conversation shifts from can they just hang on to can they make noise if they get there? It's still uncertain, and the risk of aggravating that groin injury lingers. But with just days left before the postseason begins, Clark's return could flip Indiana into legitimate contenders overnight.
Good job, ladies! I'm really proud of you guys. That was an ugly, hard-fought win. Hard-fought win. And listen, we know that we didn't play our best basketball, and in those moments where we needed a stop, or we needed a big bucket, like that you don't teach. And y'all got it. And y'all got it. So again, marrying our energy effort with our execution. Okay, that's our journey. But this is a hard win right here. I'm proud of you guys. Great job. Together, 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
That's why tonight's win carries a weight that stretches well past the box score. Because now, with every sign pointing toward her inching closer, this season suddenly feels like it's just getting started. And that brings us to why beating the Sparks wasn't about surviving. It was about setting up something bigger on the horizon. This wasn't just a win for Indiana. It was proof they can fight, survive, and thrive even without their biggest star on the floor. Every possession showed toughness, and every extra effort reminded fans that this team isn't folding when it matters most. With Caitlin Clark inching closer to a full return, the Fever suddenly look less like survivors and more like a group learning how to close games under fire. That growth is priceless. For Fever fans, hope feels alive right now, and even brighter for 2025. A team that wins this way with so much resilience has only begun. If you are pumped up for the team, then comment Big Fever Win. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.